June the 28th, 1940. German aircraft screamed down on the harbour of St. Peter Port in the Channel Islands. Strafing the dockside, they kill 33 civilians. Chillingly, they then fire upon an ambulance racing to help the wounded, before turning out to sea and attacking the local lifeboat. This was the Nazi version of shock and awe. When the German Air Force returned days later, 150 square miles of British territory were occupied without a shot being fired. The Channel Islands were the first and only British territory to fall to the incredible pace of Hitler's blitzkrieg. And so began the bizarre story of Hitler's island madness. Hitler's extraordinary obsession with the only British territory he captured was to turn the Channel Islands into the most fortified place on Earth. Because of that obsession, these tiny islands saw such towering figures as Mountbatten, Churchill, and Stalin arguing over their fate. But as the Battle of Britain raged in the skies over England, it became apparent to even the most fanatical Nazi that the blitzkrieg had been stopped. Hitler opened a second front in the east towards Russia. And in the west, attack gave way to defense. Today, as the birds soar above the seawalls, few visitors realize that they are actually flying above tank defenses built by slave laborers who toiled under the brutal yoke of the Third Reich. It nearly never happened. On July the 2nd, 1940, Churchill wrote to his personal chief of staff, suggesting a night raid upon the islands. Almost immediately, the newly formed commandos undertook their first operation. It was a fiasco. The Navy all but missed the island. Half the launches were left behind or lost. The enemy could not be found, and when the raiding party started to swim back to their escort, there were found to be some non-swimmers. They were left behind to face certain imprisonment. There is no question that the Führer was always worried that the British would like their islands back, if only for the propaganda value. Nor did he underestimate the propaganda value of German troops filmed cheerfully mingling with British citizens. Hitler was immensely proud of his only British conquest, and he was determined that this latest part of the Reich should not be recaptured. He argued that the islands had strategic importance and that they were his laboratory for Anglo-German relations. He issued a stream of orders for the defense of the islands. All beaches were to be mined, all open areas set with obstacles. At least 200 strong points were to be set up on both Guernsey and Jersey. Then in June 1941, German forces flooded eastwards across Europe to begin the assault on Russia, Operation Barbarossa. Bizarrely, in the midst of planning Barbarossa, the biggest invasion in history, Hitler took time out to worry about the Channel Islands. Not satisfied with progress there, he launched yet more orders and a crash building program was begun. But Allied sniping raids on the coast of Europe were increasingly